Welcome back, all my brothers and sisters. This is your boy Brocha, coming at you with another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. Tonight we're going to do a quick refresher slash training video on territory battles. It's come up a few times now, and so I just thought it'd be easier to address it kind of in video format. But I wanted to go over exactly what we should be doing, when we should be doing it, how to do it, and why. So first off, so we're on Geonosis Dark Side today. We just finished up Phase 1. Phase 2 just opened a few minutes ago. We haven't removed the commands yet saying don't hit. That'll happen shortly. But for now, the first thing you want to do when you come into the territory battle table is make sure that you check Discord for your platoon assignments. So for this phase, my platoon assignments, I only have one for the ships. So you don't deploy. We'll cover deployment at the end. Deploying is the very last thing you should be doing. So we're going to click on this one here, which is going to be the platoons for ships or the squadrons. Enter. You want to click on the squadron that you've been assigned a tune for. In this case for me, I've only got Squadron 2, and it's Biggs's X-Wing, which I think is this one. Let's just click on it, make sure. Yep, okay. So there we go. We have Biggs's ship, and we have deployed it. Now, I do have the ability to fill some other spots, and I probably will, but not yet. First, you want to make sure you just deploy what you've been assigned. So for now, that's all I was assigned. Next in this territory, for this fleet mission, or fleet territory, there are two combat missions. So this one here and this one here. I want to point out when you click on one of the combat missions, it shows you what the value of that combat mission is for us territory point wise towards earning stars. If I complete the mission, 825,000 territory points. Now the fleet that I can deploy, the strongest fleet I have is around 550,000. When I deploy the fleet into the combat mission, we earn those 550,000 in territory points. If I then complete the mission, we get an additional 825. So you add those two together, that means this is 1.3 million territory points I can contribute towards us earning a star. This one, even more, right? So this one, if you finish the battle, if you can complete it, it's over 1 million just by itself, plus the GP of your fleet for this. So again, if I use the maximum fleet, but that fleet is a combination, doesn't matter, of 500,000, so that's 1.5 million. So what you can see here is if I didn't complete the combat missions and I just took that 500,000 GP fleet and put it into deployments, we would only get 500,000 territory points towards earning our stars. But if I deploy it here, we get that 500,000, and if I defeat the battle, we get an additional 1 million. So that 500,000 now becomes 1.5 million that has been contributed. Completing these combat missions before we do any kind of deployments is imperative. This is the key to how we can maximize the most amount of stars. And when Bears does the math on what we can achieve, he's basing it on the strength of everyone's rosters and their abilities to clear these combat missions. Now, fleets, the combat missions are pass fail, right? So you just get one shot at it. If you pass it, you get all of the bonus points. If you don't get any of the bonus points. But here's the key. Doesn't matter. It does matter, but it doesn't really matter if you are able to clear it or not. Deploy in combat missions first and at least attempt to, because that same 500,000 fleet, whether I clear this or not, we're getting those 500,000 points. If I happen to clear it, we get an extra million. Again, if I just deploy it, we don't even have a chance at that extra million. But if I put that same 500,000 fleet here, now we have a chance for an extra million. Same goes for the other one. Again, if I just put the 500,000 fleet into a deployment, it's only going to get us 500,000. If I put it here, again, we get that same 500,000, but we have a shot at an additional 825,000. For the regular territories or the ground war territories, the same holds true. You want to go into platoons first. And for this one, I was actually only assigned 5 tunes in platoon number 6. So we're going to go ahead and go into platoon number 6 and do those. We were Special Forces TIE Pilot, Basilisk Sean Fallen, Sith Marauder, HK-47, and Darth Revan. All right, so we're going to go ahead and deploy those 5 tunes. Once again, I do have the ability to fill some others, but I want to wait. We'll come back. First, after doing my platoons, the same rules apply here as did when I was looking at the fleet missions, and that is do the combat missions first. So in this territory, there's 3 of them. 2 of them have the same bonus of 1.08 million for completing them. The other one is a 1.4 million bonus. Just like fleets, it's a bonus. So if I take a squad into here, that's a 100,000 GP squad. We get the 100,000 in territory points, and then here's where it's different from fleets. Combat missions have waves, and I believe for Geonosis, I think for this phase, each one of these combat missions has 4 waves. This 1.08 million is actually broken up into several 100,000 for each wave. So even if I can't finish the combat mission, even if I can't clear all 4 phases, it's still important to try the combat mission and get as far as possible. When we when we do the previous phase and we fill the platoons, when you look at this and it shows you the territories that are affected by the platoons that we filled here. It gives us special abilities. So you can see level 3, which is when we completely fill the platoons, we're able to summon a B2 rocket trooper to the ally slot for our squads. Dispel all buffs on all enemies. Separatist allies gain 50% turn meter. Droid allies reset their cooldowns at the start of their turn for 2 turns. This is huge. What this means is you don't necessarily have to have an overpowering Separatist droid squad to be able to clear at least one phase in each of these combat missions, because this is one of the territories that these platoons affected. Now, if you do have a Separatist droid squad, because a lot of these bonuses, or at least the bonuses, there's double bonuses for using Separatist droids. But if I have another Separatist squad, or also another droid squad, or a combination squad of either that has some Separatists and some droids, or whatever, those combos are going to just multiply. But that's why we fill platoons, is because these platoons give us bonuses in future territories. Sometimes it's the actual territory that we're in. More often than not, it's for future territories. But when you click on the platoons, it'll actually show you the territories that it's affected. Right now we're working on this territory, which this platoon gave us the bonus. So we are able to attempt all 3 of these combat missions, and when we do, we can summon that extra droid into the ally slot, which gives us bonuses and extra attacks. Same rule applies here as did in the fleet. Again, you don't want to just take your 100,000 squad and put it in deployments. You want to take that 100,000 squad and put it into a combat mission and try to clear that combat mission first. If you can't clear all 4 phases, that's fine. Not all of us can. I can't do it all the time. In phase 1, there were 4 combat missions. I was able to clear 4 of 4 on this one, 4 of 4 on this one, 4 of 4 on this one. But on this one, I cleared 3. I failed on the fourth wave, but that's still, I think it netted us 500,000 as opposed to the 792, which is huge. The squad that I put in there was only, I think, 85 to 90,000 GP squad, but then we got an extra 500,000 on top of that. If I hadn't done the combat mission and just put that 90,000 squad here, that's 500,000 that we'd be short right now. So it's important that you do these combat missions first. Now, once you've completed all of the combat missions, done all 3 of them, you can only do each one once. Once you've done all of the combat missions, and you're for all territories, so now in this wave we're going to be doing this territory, and we're going to be doing this territory. So there's actually a total of 5 combat missions between the 2 territories. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once I've attempted all 5, now some of you aren't going to have enough roster depth to attempt all 5. That's fine. My alternate account, I could only do, out of the 4 from last phase, I could only even attempt 2 of them. The one with the Geonosians, I don't have enough Geonosians to attempt that one, so I couldn't do it. And I don't have enough Darkside squad or Darkside tunes to be able to fill 3 squads, so I could only do 2. The point is, do as many as you can. If you can only do 1 and that's it, fine, great. Do the one that you can. If you could do 2, great. Do those 2. If you could do all the way up to 5, that's amazing. Do all 5 if you can. The point is, when we put our tunes into the combat missions, we get extra bonuses, which allows us to earn more territory points and use our tunes as effectively as possible towards earning those rewards that we all need from these territory battles. There's one more battle that I'm gonna look at real quick back here in phase 1. So back in phase 1, we only had 2 people clear it. I'm going to be attempting it as part of phase 2, just because you need to use droids, and I needed those droids to clear the combat mission. And actually, I might skip the special mission this time, just because there's 5 combat missions to do. And without my Separatist droid squad, since I had to use my Revan and Basilisk Fallen, I don't have my Darth Revan squad available. So to hit the combat missions, I may have to skip the special mission. But these special missions are also vitally important. Now, while these special missions do not give us bonuses towards completing our stars, they do give us the rewards that we're after. So in the Darkside Geonosis, we desperately need these Get 2s for everyone who's farming for Negotiator and Malevolence. So the more of these we can complete, the better. In some of the other phases, as you'll see when we get there, we're going to be going after Watch Shards. This is a special mission also. So while it doesn't give us bonuses for our stars, it gives us the rewards that we're really doing the Darkside Geo TB4. We're doing it to get Watch Shards, and we're doing it to get 2s. So you also want to complete any special mission if you can before doing deployments. Now, when you do the special mission, when you deploy your squad, you still get those points towards completing the stars. So if I have a 100,000 point squad and it meets the power requirements for doing the special mission like this, I have the ability to do it. If I can't clear it, all it means is that we just don't get the 15 Get 2s. We still get that 100,000 towards earning our stars. Okay, so all right, so we talked about when you first get in, go fill your platoons, right? Next, do your combat missions. Make sure that you complete as many as possible. Next, do your special mission. Now, in reality, you probably would be doing your special mission before a combat mission, but if you the reason why I say do your combat mission before your special mission for GOTB anyway is there's a lot of combat missions to do this phase, 5 of them. Having 5 full dark side squads plus a squad that can tackle the special missions, 6 of them, that's a little tough. And we are in desperate need of making sure we maximize the territory points that we're earning. So again, then do the combat missions. Now, once all of those are done, we're still not deploying. Okay. At this point, once you've completed your combat missions and you don't have any more tunes that you're going to be able to use to try and complete those, now go back in to the platoons, and this is where you would look to see, are there any other platoon assignments that I could fill for others? Why do we do this? Why, we have a bot on our Discord channel that assigns us our platoon assignments. Why would we go in and then take someone else's assignment? Well, much like you just saw with me having to put my platoon assignments in, where I had to give up my Darth Revan and my Basilisk Fallen, which basically means I can't use my Darth Revan squad. If I can complete my combat missions and say use my and I don't have to use my Jango Fett, or I don't have to use my Mother Talzin or Talzin, so I can place them here in platoons. Whoever these platoons are assigned to, that can free up a whole nother squad for them to be able to do their combat mission. Maybe somebody was only assigned Mother Talzin, but that really means that they can't use a Night Sister squad, that they could potentially clear a couple of waves. So me sacrificing my Mother Talzin here, if I'm not using her, frees up somebody else to take their 100,000 Night Sister squad or 80,000 Night Sister squad or whatever it is, and attempt a combat mission where they can turn that 80 to 100,000 into potentially well over 1 million. So by me putting my 20,000 GP Talzin here, could help somebody else add 1 million for the guild. That's a great sacrifice. We should be doing this all the time, but it's important that we first fill the assignments that we had. The assignments that are made by the bot are filled by Bears and Calculus Cheeser to make sure that we can fill the platoons so that we can maximize the rewards that we get for filling the platoons, which makes the combat missions in future phases easier. So do your assignments first. Then go and do your combat missions. Once your combat missions and special missions are all done and all you've got left is to deploy, come back into platoons and go ahead and fill whatever you can. Help everybody else out. Make it as efficient as possible so we can maximize the amount of territory points everyone can contribute. Once all of that is done, if you are able to hold off on your deployments, please do so. For Geonosis Darkside TB, we have a full day and a half to complete each phase. So we don't necessarily need you to deploy right away in the first hour. You've done your platoons, you've done your combat missions, you're like, great, I'm going to go ahead and deploy. If you don't have availability to hold off and wait for deployment later on, okay, go ahead, put your deployments out there. But excuse me, part of how we maximize our stars is some of us hold back our deployments until kind of near the end of the time for the phase so that we can strategically put our deployments where they're needed most. So as you can see here, for this middle phase, we are going to be preloading. We are not attempting to get stars, which means we are going to try to get as close to this 61,025,000 as possible without actually hitting it. We did that last phase with this bottom territory. Now, since it's been opened back up, Calculus has gone in there and done some deploying. But as you saw at the beginning of the video, I showed we were just 49 points shy of getting that first star. So when you preload, when you do not get a star in a territory. You get to go back and do that territory in the next phase. Now, it doesn't open up the next territory, but that's fine. It'll open up next phase. When we do these preloads, it's so that we can maximize the amount of stars we can get out of that territory. Our guild right now isn't strong enough for us to have gone for 3 stars top and 3 stars bottom. Now, in phase 2, we can get 3 stars in the bottom because we preloaded 36 million in first phase. Now we can go ahead and pile on and get us up to that. I think it's 107 million or something like that to hit 3 stars. Excuse me. So, how we're able to coordinate that is by holding back our deployments. So it shows now that I did this an hour and 2 minutes ago when I did my deployments. That was about with 20 minutes left to go before the phase ended. So because I have the flexibility and availability to be around when the time ends, I hold mine usually until the very end, so that Bears and I can coordinate and figure out where's the most efficient and effective place to put my deployments. If you can't do that, that's fine. We have commands here that explain exactly where we want everyone to go. So here, this is going to be a preload. So if we are, let's say we're sitting on 60 million and you've got 2 million to deploy, do not deploy it here. Wait to talk to an officer. Because if you deploy that 2 million, it's going to put us over the 61 million mark, and now we've got a star, and now we just failed our preload. Okay, so we would probably be telling you to deploy that 2 million back here. Deploying is the last thing you should be doing. Make sure you do everything else first. Platoons, combat missions, special missions, all of those things need to be finished before deploying. Again, if you can't wait, if you're not going to have availability, go ahead and deploy where it makes sense based on the commands, based on how much you have to deploy, have available to deploy, and what the commands are telling you, what our goals are. So this time we are actually going for those 3 stars, so we're going to need all the deployments we can get. Here we're just preloading, and also same with fleet. With the fleets, after the combat missions and stuff are done, I actually probably won't end up deploying for both of my accounts, because we'll probably get pretty close to the preload number before my deployment. So that's fine. If you hold the fleet back and end up not being able to deploy it because we're trying to preload, not a big deal. This rank over here doesn't mean anything. For raids, whoever's in the top spot gets the most number of shards, and top 3 get the most number of shards, and then it cascades down from there. For territory battle, it doesn't matter. We all get the same amount of rewards based on the stars. So where we finish rank-wise doesn't matter. This is a true team effort. When you go to rewards, it is the rewards are the same. It's just based on the number of stars. We all get whatever we earn. So last month when we did Darkside Geo, we got 14 stars. These were the rewards that everyone got. Now we were going for 15 stars this time. It doesn't look like we're going to get it because we came up short of what we needed to do in phase 1, but there's still a chance, you never know. But the important thing is it doesn't matter. So if you end up not being able to do your deployments because someone else, or you can't fill your platoons because someone else did it, that just frees those tunes up for you to do more combat missions. If we end up saying, hey, please don't deploy in the fleet because we're already up against the preload number, it doesn't matter. What matters is what's best for the guild as a whole, the goal that we're trying to achieve. The rewards are for everyone. So if you have any questions, you can always reach out to any of the officers. Obviously, Bears coordinates these territory battles for us more than anyone else. But myself, Calculus, Wi-Fi, Allison, all of us are available to answer questions. Please don't hesitate to reach out. If you have any other questions or have something you'd like to see in a video about the territory battle, let me know, and I will do my best to try and make that happen. And don't hesitate to ask, because if you have the question, odds are somebody else does too. I hope you have found this video informational, and good luck, Nightmares. Let's go get some stars, some big rewards. I love Darkside Geonosis. I love getting those get twos. I love the fact that we've been getting so many watch shards, and we're improving every single month. It's awesome. So until next time, remember, expendable might be in our name, but none of you are expendable to me.